Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series, Kmart exclusive Rey from Starkiller base 6-inch scale figure. So this set here is part 2 of a little diorama that Kmart initially offered with their first set last fall, which was the 6-inch Starkiller base Kylo Ren. We did review that here on the channel. I'll throw a link down at the bottom if you'd like to check it out. And basically we got the same exact Kylo Ren that we already had with some new accessories. The lightsaber is a little bit different. He also has an extra hilt, and then he's got the snow deco on the bottom of his clothing. And then he comes with a snow display base. Recently, Kmart has released the Rey set for this diorama, and it retails at $24.99. Unfortunately, my local Kmart closed a couple months ago, so I had to get mine from Kmart.com, which it was initially pretty hard to get. I had a very hard time getting it, but then it finally seemed like they had plenty available online, so I was able to get it shipped to my local store. However, like I said, Kmart was closed, so they had to ship it to my local Sears, which worked out just fine. They have a little pickup in my local Sears that I didn't even know about, so I thought that was pretty cool. Very convenient. Just went in, typed my information to a kiosk, and then somebody brought the package out. The packaging, as you can see, is the same Black Series style packaging that we've been getting since last fall for The Force Awakens. You can see the figure pretty prominently displayed within, as well as her snow bases, as well as an image of Rey on the lower left. One side simply says Rey, Starkiller base. There's no numbering or any designation for these two diorama pieces. Opposite side says Rey, Starkiller base. Once again, gives us a little bit of a peek inside the box. And at the back, essentially the same thing. Rey is a resilient survivor, a scavenger toughened by a lifetime of dealing with the cutthroats of the harsh desert world of Jakku. So I'm going to go ahead and get Rey out of the packaging here. I'm really anxious to see what it's going to look like when I get these two diorama pieces connected together. So let me go ahead and do that, and then we'll take a closer look and compare Rey to the original release and see what all of her accessories are like. All right, you guys, now here is Rey out of the packaging along with all of her accessories. And she comes with quite a bit of stuff. I mean, for only being $5 more than what the regular Rey figure goes for, which of course did come with BB-8, you're getting some pretty nice pieces with her. And we'll take a closer look at those in just a moment, but for now, let's go ahead and focus on Rey. So Rey seems to be a straight repack of the previously released 6-inch Black Series Rey. The sculpt is exactly the same. The paint appears to be exactly the same. Only thing you're not getting with this Rey is BB-8 and the staff accessory that came with the previously released version. As you can see, her lower robes are kind of protruding outward due to the way that she is placed inside the packaging. I've always kind of thought that this is a decent figure. It's not the best, but they did a decent enough job, I suppose, for the 6-inch Black Series line. And of course, being a Black Series figure, she does have a pretty fair amount of articulation. Go ahead and give you a close-up here of Rey's face. It's pretty good. I mean, it sort of looks like the Rey that we saw in the film. It's definitely passable, and, you know, if you saw this figure, you would certainly know that it's Rey. It looks like it has a very nice sculpt, but the paint still isn't 100% perfect. It's definitely been improved upon since the very first batches of the original release were put out there, but they still have a little ways to go. Just a little ways to go to tweak the paint and make it a little more perfected. But that being said, it does look pretty good. It's painted quite cleanly. The eyes look good. The hairline, for the most part, is pretty clean. The lips look pretty nice and clean. No paint slop or anything there. The cheeks have some blush on them, perhaps a little bit too much. But it's pretty good. For $20 or $25 in the case of this set, it's pretty good. The rest of the costume seems to be pretty nicely done. Nice sculpt work to it. And I don't want to do a re-review of the figure because we have looked at it before, but, you know, just to show you a quick look at what they did here, I think it's pretty decent. The only thing I wish they would have done for this release is changed it so that she had soft goods robes, at least on the very bottom. These do kind of get in the way of being able to pose her and put her in different positions. So if they would have changed it up just a little bit, you know, given her the soft robes, it would have lent itself to more posability. But it's the same thing as before. Only difference you're going to note here is that there is some snow on her boots. That's really the only thing that's going to separate this figure from the previous version. And the skin tone itself is pretty good. It's not too pale, but it's not too tanned either. I think they did a pretty nice job with that. Articulation, of course, is exactly the same. You get a ball joint here at the head. You get a ball hinge at both of the shoulders, and they move pretty well. You get ball hinging at both of the elbows, though you don't get a whole lot of a bend at them. You get the same ball hinging at both of the wrists, hinge at the waist, which does have an okay range of movement to it. You can lean her forward or lean her back, tilt her a little bit to the sides. She has a ball hinging at both of the hips. And again, they are kind of restricted by, especially on the left leg, by this sculpted lower robes. She's got cuts at both of her thighs. She's got ball hinging at both of the knees, and then ball hinging at both of the ankles, along with rocker pivot. So overall, pretty decent amount of articulation, though I do think that it would have been nicer if you could bend her elbows a little bit more than that. In the way of accessories, Rey comes with her lightsaber, which is basically Luke's lightsaber and Anakin's lightsaber, if you want to go back even further. As you can see, it's pretty warped from the way that it's packaged in there, which really does suck. I mean, even the blade's kind of warped. I mean, I really wish they would have just packed it off to the side where, this isn't going to happen, but, they chose to make it where she's holding it inside the box. So, I mean, it's just really warped. I should be able to strain it out a little bit with some hot water, but it shouldn't come out like this out of the box. It really shouldn't. The lightsaber itself is the exact same one that we saw with the recently released Tatooine Luke Skywalker from the 6-inch Black Series. The hilt is pretty good. It's got some minimal detail on it, but I guess it's decent enough. Blade color is kind of like a medium blue, very narrow blade. She does hold the lightsaber in both hands, which is excellent. Give you a comparison here of the two 6-inch Rey figures. As you can see, exact same thing, except for the fact that they added the snow dusting to the Starkiller base's one's boots. And then a quick up close at both of their heads. And same exact thing, but for some reason I do feel like the face paint on my original release Rey right here is a little bit better. Now, as for the ice bases that Rey comes with, she does come with 2 of them, and they're both unique. When you first get out of the box, she comes positioned in this one. You can see where her feet were right there, and for whatever reason, they decided to put a little bit of glue on her feet. So she was a little bit hard to get out. You can still kind of see a little bit of like the glue residue, like right in here. Very unusual that they decided to do that, but I guess they just didn't want it to collapse in the packaging or something, which wouldn't really make sense because she was tied in with some clear elastic bands. In any case, this part of the base itself looks pretty good. On Starkiller base, I don't really remember seeing any ice per se. I mean, there was snow quite obviously, but I don't remember seeing ice like this. This looks more like something you would see in the Wampa Ice Cave from Empire Strikes Back. But, we'll take what we can get, especially when it comes to environmental pieces for the 6-inch line, because we seldom ever get those. In fact, I can't think of any other environmental pieces that we've gotten in the 6-inch line other than these ice bases for both Rey and Kylo Ren. But it does have a good looking coloring to it. You can see that it does have a little bit of a translucency there. There is kind of like a deeper sort of blue color here, but then, it does have a pretty good gradient into this more snow sort of aesthetic. And the sculpt work on the base itself looks really, really good. It does look very nice. They did a good job with that. And, looks a little bit sleeked. And I like it. I like what they did here. And again, this is just one part of the base. You also get a second block of ice. And it's a little bit different. Pretty much the same size, but it is a little bit different in terms of the detail in the sculpt. It's got a little bit more of a ridge up here. And it's similarly painted in terms of it looking quite good. I really think they did a nice job with that. Some pretty good snow texture here. So if you look at these 2 pieces of ice next to each other, you will see that there are these little notches that are cut into both pieces of base. Basically what you're going to do is just kind of slide them in together, and they will attach just like that. So it works okay. I mean, they are stuck together. I don't think they're going to come off too easily. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool. I just don't see why they needed to include so much ice, especially considering the fact that the Kylo Ren only came with 1 piece of ice, but hey, I'll take it. And then to get Rey in there, basically you just want to line her up with the notches that are put in there for both of her feet. And it is a little bit of a tight fit, especially compared to the Kylo Ren base, which was very easy to just position his feet in there. Like, this is a much tighter fit. Much tighter fit, but I guess maybe she's going to be more secure at the very least. So that's basically all you do, and then you can just kind of tweak her and position her however you want. But yeah, this looks pretty cool. So now that we have the two pieces of ice that come with Rey connected together, we're going to go ahead and grab the piece of ice that comes with Kylo Ren, and we're going to go ahead and connect it. So when you have these two pieces together like this, you will see that you can connect these two just like a puzzle like that. And to do that, basically just like push them together. It doesn't really connect all that well, but if you just kind of were to position them on a shelf, orient them together, it fits into each other. If you look at the aesthetics, they're not 100% the same. It's clear that this one was made before these other two pieces were, because there's a little bit of a difference in terms of coloration. This looks a little bit less detailed than those other pieces do, and it has a little bit more of a translucency to it. So yeah, they don't really connect all that well, but I guess you just put it on your shelf and just kind of, make them like touch like that. And I guess that would be sufficient. It would have been nice if they would have found a better way to connect this one to that one, but I kind of feel like there wasn't a whole lot of forethought that went into creating this, because if there had been, I think the aesthetics would have been better on this piece compared to these two, and they would have interlocked in a more appropriate manner. And now we have the two diorama pieces next to each other. We have Kylo Ren battling with Rey on Starkiller base. And I gotta say, this looks pretty cool. This actually looks neater than I expected it to. So I do gotta give props to Hasbro for offering this. Yeah, we already have these figures, but I truly believe that this version of Kylo Ren has a nicer lightsaber. It's nice that he has that force shove sort of hand. Rey, it's really nice that she has the lightsaber. So they are different enough, especially Kylo Ren. I would also say that if you're not a regular collector of the 6-inch Star Wars Black Series line, if you don't already have a Kylo Ren and a Rey 6-inch figure, this is definitely a very good way to go. Because not only are you getting these two awesome new characters, but you're also getting these very nice snow bases. And in the case of Kylo Ren, I do think that you are getting the better of the two releases. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Hasbro Star Wars, the Black Series, Kmart exclusive Rey from Starkiller base 6-inch figure. All in all, you guys, I think that this is a pretty cool release. It doesn't really offer a whole lot new other than the two ice bases. If you already have the regular Rey figure and you have any of the several of the Luke Skywalker figures that Hasbro has done for the 6-inch line over the past few years, then you could easily pull the lightsaber from most of those figures and offer it to Rey. The figure itself is pretty much an exact repack of the original release, save for a little bit of extra snow paint on her boots. So if you do get this figure, then most likely you are going to do so because of the very awesome snow base pieces, which I think are very nicely done. They're very well made, very solid. Again, I do give props to Hasbro for, doing something a little bit different. Could the figures have been a little bit better and a little bit different? Yes. Should Kylo Ren have come with an unmasked head? Yes, of course he should have. But for the price point of $24.99, I don't think that this is all that bad. And I'm really happy to be getting some environmental pieces for the 6-inch line, because as of yet, that isn't something we have gotten from Hasbro. So this being the first, I really like what they did here and would love to see this applied to other 6-inch figures down the road. If you're a completist, then you're no doubt probably going to be getting both of these to add to your collection. But if you don't have either of them and you don't really collect the 6-inch Black Series line, but you are interested in maybe checking them out, I think this is a very good option. So as someone who has collected pretty much the entire 6-inch Black Series line, I am quite happy to add these to my collection, even if they are repeats. I just really like these snow bases, especially in Rey's case. They just look fantastic. Even if they're not completely movie accurate, still very nicely executed. And this is just a really cool looking diorama. Gotta say, I really am happy with the results here. Alright, my friends, if you've enjoyed this video, then I do encourage you to please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about the Kmart exclusive 6-inch Rey from Starkiller base. Whether or not this is something you would add to your collection. Be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter for the latest in collecting news and updates. And as always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, my friends, keep on collecting. Bye-bye.